that happen around the world, they can't get access to their, forget fiat, their gold. They don't get access to it. Even if they get access to it, can they carry it across the border? No, they can't. So like either it's confiscated, it's too heavy, they can't do. So there's all these things that is really, we're talking about a store of value that's based around a network. The stronger that network gets, the more value that asset has, right? And so that's where you're seeing with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin goes even one step further. There's only ever going to be 21 million. Nobody's going to go in there and create more Bitcoin, okay? Just out of a whim. It's all code. It's all coded. So that gives it even more value because it's a scarcity value factor to it, right? So we're looking at 90% of Bitcoin has already been minted or produced. Okay, so we're looking at maybe 2 million left for the next 100 years or so that's going to be actually produced. So that scarcity factor will continue to drive the value of Bitcoin that you don't get in any other asset.
So it's kind of like supply and demand, and then we buy it with the dollar, and it kind of supports it.
100%. Now, going forward, there are lower denominations of Bitcoin. They call them Satoshis. Mm-hmm. So will things become part where now you're dealing in Satoshis and not one whole Bitcoin or half Bitcoin? It's possible. But so there's a lot of different things that can happen. But just based on, well, once there's no value to it, there's lots of things that we own that have no value, but we give them value. And so when you look at there's only 21 million, and then the network that supports what's there, it cannot be hacked. The ledger cannot be changed, okay? And no one can print more, and it becomes borderless and censorless. It just adds more and more value in that respect.
So people who are looking for financial freedom, this is an opportunity for them to get involved with a way to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll even go further and saying just freedom in general, because if you don't have economic liberty or freedom, you don't have much freedom anywhere else of your life, right? Like that's a very big portion of it. And don't get me wrong, like the fact that the US dollar, you buy it in US dollars, that's not a bad thing. If it appreciates 10x and you can make money off of it, all the power to you. Like that's fine. But there are those who just say hold it for dear life and pass it on to your kids' kids, and they have a different train of thought. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just one of those things you just got to learn about. That's the easiest thing to say, right? Well, it's worthless. It's just magic money. No, there's differences that's involved in all of this.
So the dollar money that you buy the Bitcoin. So where that money goes?
That's going to go to the exchange or wherever you're buying it from. So they will do what they decide to do with it. They have all these little different things. Maybe they buy a Bitcoin off of somewhere else, off market, that's at a discount, but they're using what you give them. There's a lot of different things. Personally, I don't know specifically what they will do with all of the money that they get for the Bitcoin. I do want to make a very important point that a lot of people think it's similar to stocks where you have to buy one whole stock or one whole Bitcoin. It does not work that way. If you want to buy $10 worth of a Bitcoin, you can get $10 in that denomination. Okay, so I just want to make that clear because everyone has that misconception that one stock and one Bitcoin, they're equivalent. That's the only way you can get one. It does not work like that, right? So they say, well, it's $40,000 or $50,000. I can't afford it. You can afford $10, $100 worth of Bitcoin. Buy that.
What do you think the importance of having these kinds of digital assets is?
Freedom. I can go anywhere. I can put it on my little small public ledger. It's like a USB key. I can keep that with me. I can go wherever I want, and I can access it with anything that has internet. And my economics are right there. Okay, my financial freedom comes with me wherever I go. You can't say that about any other asset. You can't take your house or any real estate and move it with you when you want to go somewhere. You can't do that, right? When you look at even just currencies, your bank accounts, will they let you do that if something happens? So there's all these different things. And so for me, that economic freedom is the biggest thing. That drives every other freedom because you have options. You're not stressed. Mentally, physically, it's not wearing you down because you're worrying about money, because you got it all with you. And here's the thing I will say, while it is good, there's also the scary part that you are responsible for it. So if you send your Bitcoin to the wrong place, the wrong address, and you lose it, it's not coming back. There's no customer support for you to call and say, hey, can you give it back to me? No. That's on you. So there is that fear that a lot of people have that, hey, I'm happy with the middleman holding my money or managing it for me, even though they're taking all your money through fees, and they don't want that responsibility. So Bitcoin, to me, it's great because of all the things we mentioned, but it's that economic freedom that it really boils down to.
Great. So you said if I was new, so if Gloria and I were gonna go out and we were gonna say, okay, we're gonna give this a try, we would buy some or an entire Bitcoin, depending on our level of comfort I'm spending, and we would get an Ethereum. You can buy part of an Ethereum too, right?
Absolutely. Well, and that's the best thing with any crypto asset. You can buy whatever you like of it. $10, $100, $50. That's the beauty of the crypto, is that you don't have to have one of any of it, right? So whether that's Bitcoin, whether that's ETH, whether that's some other asset, you have the option of only paying. This is why I promote it so much, because you can put in however much you can put in, right? When you look at financial institutions now, as they're laid out, they're really catered to the very rich. All the financial instruments that you get, they're really catered to people with wealth already. So what happens to the little guy? Who's going to look at their money and give them certain strategy? They don't care, right? So here, with whatever money you have, you can make a difference and actually make big gains going forward.
So what do you think about that, Gloria?
Well, I think I still a little bit skeptical. Even I have some crypto that I bought because just like everybody, I buy a little bit to see. But the question I do myself all the time, okay, it's another coin. You buy with dollars, and where those dollars goes, and at the end of the day, if it's gonna be more Bitcoin or dollars at the end of the day. So what is gonna be the coin in the future? Bitcoins, so all the dollars where they go. So that's like a lot of questions that I do myself all the time.
Yeah, well, you got to remember right now, I mean, they're using their dollars to buy other things, right? Because we know as inflation goes up, your dollars, if you just keep them there, are worth less and less day by
Right.
day. So the value of a dollar is actually going down.
Yes.
The value of Bitcoin actually is going up, right? So just from a value perspective, but what do they do with them? Maybe they buy real estate. Maybe they put them into a stable coin. I don't want to get too deep if you're beginners of what you can do with it, but there's certain things you're going to do, but you're not going to keep it as fiat. That you wouldn't do that, right? So they're going to do different things with it. But what happens in 5-10 years, no one really knows what's going to happen there.
Right.
It's like, Gloria, when you go into the store and you buy a painting, right, and you pay them and you walk away with the painting, then they do whatever they want with your money that you use to buy the painting. Right. It doesn't attach to the painting in any way whatsoever. So your cryptocurrency is like that. When you buy a coin, you've purchased that asset, right? And then they do what they want with the money. The same as you buy a stock certificate, you get your certificate and you store it in your safety deposit box. With this, you'll take your Bitcoin and you will store it on your cold storage wallet. And maybe put that in your safety deposit box. I don't know where you want to keep it, but that's the kind of thing. So the dollars, where your money is going once you buy it, it's like doing any other purchase. It's to the company that you paid it to. And that's what it is. You're paying for that asset. And that's, I think, what a lot of people don't understand, because they're like, well, why is this an asset? Why? And it's sort of like when the internet came out, or email. If you are a little older, you might remember a time when there was no email. Electronic mail was new, or when there were no iPhones or cell phones even, and we were using pay phones. This is a technological advance. It just happens to be in the financial world, the financial sector. And it was bound to happen, right? And it's actually very huge. Okay. When you look at what's happening with these coins, you look at what's happening with the NASDAQ, which is where the exchange where they trade stocks and they keep all the information and everything, you can see that it follows sort of the same trends, right? And so you can see how this is becoming so closely associated with the kind of stocks. It's similar but different, but it is not going to go anywhere. It's just beginning. And so that's why I think at London Real Academy, we're so passionate about helping people get involved, why Encore does what he does and helping to educate everyone on how to use this to benefit your way of life and your future. The way I look at it is a long-term strategy. So when people see things that happen in the news and they think, oh no, crypto is a scam. Look what just happened. They hear the headline. They see the headline, something bad happened. But this is right now, this is current. So you have to sort of have a long-term strategy in order to not panic when things dip or things go wrong. And it's the same sort of thing. It's similar but different to stocks. Would you agree with that, Encore?
Yeah, it is 100%. And now it's even more correlated. So the tech stocks and Bitcoin seem to be correlated pretty heavily. What I'll touch back on, and actually you brought up a very good point, is that everyone gets so caught up in price action. Bitcoin is up, this asset is down, because there is that volatility. Remember, it's a very new asset. It's only been around for 10 or so years. So it's as it gains maturity, it's going to have less volatility. But if you look at it, this is really a technology advancement. It's an invention. So like fire, electricity, steam engine, combustion engine, when you look at it at that light, it's the technology that's going to change everything, right? We are all so focused on the now, right? And human brains have such a hard time trying to figure out exponential growth. We don't know what it's going to look like in 6 months, let alone 6 years. So really, it's the technology that's laying the foundation, and why